The sheriff is not the real problem. It's July 13th, 2026. Welcome to yes2hellwith.com. Some Americans say the sheriff needs to stand up. The police chief needs to defend the Constitution. The deputies need to stop violating our rights. Perhaps. But before we point our finger at the sheriff, we should realize there are four fingers pointing back at us. Now, how many Americans actually have read the Constitution? Not just the Second Amendment, not just the First Amendment, but the entire Constitution. How many understand why it was written? How many understand that the Constitution does not grant rights to the people? It constitutes government, creates and limits government, confines it, and tells government what it may do, and just as importantly, what it may not do. That is its purpose. Now ask yourself another question. If the average American doesn't understand that, how do we expect the average sheriff to understand it? If citizens cannot explain constitutional limits, how can they expect an officer to recognize when the limits have been crossed? We criticize the sheriff, deputies, police chief. But where did those people come from? They came from us. They were raised in the same schools, learned from the same textbooks, watched the same television, read the same newspapers. They lived in the same culture that taught compliance far more than constitutional literacy. They are not strangers. They are our neighbors, classmates, sons, daughters. If America has forgotten the Constitution, why are we surprised when those wearing the badge have forgotten it too? The sheriff should know the Constitution, absolutely. Every constitutional officer should. But so should every citizen. A free republic cannot survive if only a handful of people understand the document that limits government. Freedom requires an educated people, not merely passionate people, not merely angry people, but educated. Imagine what would happen if millions of Americans truly understood constitutional limits. Imagine a respectful conversation between a citizen and a sheriff, not based upon emotion slogans or internet folklore, but based upon constitutional principles. Imagine citizens asking thoughtful questions, producing the Constitution, reading it, discussing its limits, holding government accountable, not with insults, but with knowledge. That is how republics are preserved, not by shouting louder, but by understanding better. Before we ask the sheriff to keep his constitutional house in order, we should ask ourselves, have we kept ours? Because a constitution cannot restrain government if the people who are supposed to defend it have never taken the time to understand it. The sheriff is not the beginning of the republic. The people are. And the quality of our government will rarely rise above the constitutional understanding of the citizens who elect representatives. So perhaps the first person each of us should challenge is the one we see in the mirror. Because when people understand freedom and liberty and rights, government has far fewer opportunities to forget it. And as always, may truth reign supreme.